Happy Monday, everyone. I hope you are having a great weekend and week coming ahead. Today, I am going to talk about two very important rules of fine art. There is line and shape. And one of the most important parts of shape in a painting is negative shapes. So I'm going to talk about those two things. First, let's start out with the easier one. I am going to talk about line. And I realized today that talking about the rules of fine art is a little bit challenging to do when I'm on Facebook Live because I normally, when I teach, I have examples that I can bring up on the screen and show to you. And today I have to just describe it because I don't have screen share. Big challenge to describe such visual processes, but I'm going to do my best. When you are painting, you need to do a variety of lines. And what I mean by that is you want to have some lines that are thick on your canvas and some lines that are thin. You want to vary the shapes a lot. Keep getting sunbeams again on my face. Crazy. But you want to really vary it. You do not want to have repetitive lines throughout. You want to mix things up. And one of the most important things about line is you also really need to have some hard edged lines and some soft edged lines. And what I mean by that is you've got to, those sunbeams are crazy. There we go. You have to really, on your focal point, you want them to be nice, crisp, clean, hard edged lines. And that will help to draw attention to that area. Versus if you've got a mountain that's far off in the distance, you do not want to have hard edge there. They need to be nice and soft and fluid and a little bit blurred almost, because that will make that particular part of the painting look like it's in the distance. So foreground things will often have the hard edge. Distance in the background will be soft edge. And you really want to turn your brush in different directions as well. Some areas will be thicker and some areas will be thinner. And you don't want to have it same horizontal all the way. All your lines should not be horizontal or vertical. Some need to be on an angle. Some need to be curved. Some need to be, mix it up. Really, really work your brush. So that is what I need to say about line. Now, shape is a bit more complicated. And with shape, again, you want to keep it varied. You do not want to have all your trees the same size, the same height. You don't want the tree branches to all end in the same line. And that is one of the most habitual things of my students, all students. They all paint a tree according to what they think they see. And as they're doing that, it somehow our left brains wants to put things all in a neat little order, and they wind up having, it doesn't matter which student you are, everybody does it, including myself. I've done it myself. Even recently I did it and I had to go back in and correct it. I'm like, what was I thinking? But you do not want all your tree branches to end in a nice, neat little row. They are very, very different. Each tree branch is an individual thing and will give you a different shape. And that is what will make a good painting. And with painting and drawing shapes, you have to spend just as much time considering the negative shape. Now, what is that? That is the space around the tree. For example, the sky. I'm going to have to start sorry. These lights are distracting me from my thought process. So sorry. Negative shape is the space around the object. So instead of drawing the tree, I want you to draw the sky that is around the tree. And I want you to draw the shape between the two trees. Sometimes when a tree branch intersects, it will create a nice little shape of blue sky. That is what is important. Thank you, Lydia. Hello, Lydia. I'm glad you're here. So the negative shapes, even when you're drawing a still life in a chair, where the rungs meet, where the top meets the bottom, sometimes they will leave little like neat little rectangles. And again, it's really, really hard to describe what I'm trying to say in a discussion without bringing up an example on the screen. But I recommend that you pick up the book from Betty Edwards called Drawing on the Right Side of the Brain. And this is a fabulous book at describing negative shapes and really gives you some excellent exercises on how to better get a grip on this. And one of the most important things that she describes is that when you work with your right side of the brain, it shuts down, your left side, which is what most of us use on a daily basis. But the creative side is your right brain. And that is where the inspiration and the creative side comes from. So you really need to turn that side of the brain on and turn your left side of the brain off. And her examples will help you to do that. And another thing you can do when you are trying to draw a specific scene, turn your canvas upside down, or your photograph, or your, whatever it is you're drawing, try to turn your canvas upside down, and it will help you to get rid of that thinking brain. It will help you to draw what it is you are actually seeing rather than what you think you are seeing. And really ponder that for a moment, because a lot of times we have preconceived ideas about what a tree will look like, and you go in there and you draw a tree, and it looks nothing like what it is that is actually in front of you. So it is super important to learn how to see. And negative shapes, focusing on the negative shapes, is what is going to help you to do that. That is why it is important. And what else did I need to tell you about? Yeah. Focal point. Did I mention I mentioned focal point last week in detail when I was talking about composition. And it's really important that with your composition, you decide where you're going to do your focal point. That is what we talked about last week. This week, your line and your shapes are going to help you to establish that focal point. So that's why these things are also important. And they all these rules of fine art, they kind of overlap with one another. And so I can't talk about each one in isolation. I have to talk about them, in each session, because they are all joined up. And your focal point is going to really be portrayed by having these good lines and good negative shapes. And next week, I'm planning on talking about value. And value is another way to establish good focal point. So that's super important. And I also wanted to let you know that if you are interested in learning more about these things, I do have an art lecture available for sale on my website where I discuss composition and negative shape and line in a 1-hour Zoom lecture. So please do take a look at that if this is something that really speaks to you and you would like to learn more. And in that way, I was able to bring up actual definite pictures on the screen, and it works out much better than trying to describe what these theories. So I really hope that will help you. Kia White, hey, thank you for being here. I'm glad to see you are here. You are painting, and please keep checking back in on Mondays, because I am doing art tips every Monday. This is great. Nice to see you or hear from you, Kia and Lydia. And for everybody else that is tuning in, thank you. I'm going to be posting this Facebook Live on my community here on Facebook. So you can see them at any time, and I will also be posting them on, still distracted by the light. I should embrace the light, it's sunny. I will also be posting these Facebook Lives on my YouTube channel. So if you want to find out more about past art tips, please do so. Check those out for free. All right. Have a fabulous week, everyone. And next week, I will be talking about value. Value is the difference between light, medium tones, and darks. And I've got some great tips for you about that. I will see you then. Have a great week. Bye for now.